Welcome back, guys. In today's video I'll be showing you how I made this cut together off shoulder blouse. Please tap the subscribe button, tap the like button, and let's head right in. So guys, let's head straight to the point. There's a little bit of underground or background noise going on here. It's because there's a little bit of rain falling outside, so please bear with me. For the cut together off shoulder, I'm going to be starting with my basic bodice pattern, and this is it right here, and I'll be starting with the front. So if you don't know how to draft a basic bodice pattern, you don't know how to achieve this, please check out the video tutorial right on top of your screen. So now for the off shoulder, for the cut together off shoulder, I'm going to start first by deciding where I want my off shoulder armhole, where I want it to sit. So from my original armhole here, this is my front pattern piece, by the way. So from my original armhole here, I'm going to draw another new armhole, and to do that I'm going to first come right here and raise it up by 1 inch. If you don't want to do that, you can always pick a dart here, but for me I just want to draw. I want to raise the armhole up, so I'll raise it up by 1 inch. And then from my original armhole here, you just decide where you want your armhole to be. So from the armhole level here, I'm just going to go up by, let's say, 4 3/4 inches. So I'm just going to start here. Let me just draw a line. This is my across chest line from my pattern proper. That's from my basic bodice pattern. This is my across chest line. So on this line exactly, I'm going to go in by 2 inches or 1.5 depending on you. So let's do 1.5. Then I'm going to connect from here down here. So your off shoulder height can go higher than this. You can decide to have your off shoulder height here, or you can decide to make it lower. It depends. It all depends on you. So I'm going to connect from here down to my armhole here, my armhole level. Then this 1 inch line that I raised up, I'm just going to do a little curve to meet this here, and that's that. So this is all just so that we can avoid gapings around the armhole. So now that I have this, I'm going to, from this point here, I'm going to measure 4 inches out, or you can do 3.5 inches. So because we want it like really firm on our shoulders, I'm going to measure out from here. I'm going to measure 3.5 inches or 4 inches depending on how wide your arms are. So if you are a little bit bigger, you can use like 4 inches from here out. So you make sure you slant your tape measure up just a bit, the way I've done. Then you connect. So before we connect, from this point here, ignore this one here. So from this point, we extended from here. All you need to do is do this, and this is 3.5 inches right here. I'm going to measure up by let's say 2.5 inches or 2 inches. Then I'll connect this line. You can see this. So you can do this. You connect this from here, also here. Then from here, measure in the 3.5 inches back. So that is the 3.5 inches we measured here. From here to here, it's 3.5 inches. So you make sure you slant the tape measure again, just like I've done. Now I hope you got the drift up to this point. All I did was decide the height of my off shoulder, where I want the armhole to sit. So yours can be lower, you can decide to go lower or higher. It all depends on you. So I decided on this point across my chest level. So I decided on this point. So on this point, I just measured in 2 inches or 1.5 depending on you. So I think I measured 1.5 rather. So you can decide to use 1.5. Sometimes I use 1.5, sometimes I use 2 inches. But for today, I'm using 1.5 inches. So all I did was measure 1.5 inches from here inwards, and then I connected this all the way down. And then the 1 inch I raised this part up by 1 inch, and then I connected this way to meet my new armhole here. So then once I did that, for the cut together off shoulder, all I did was slant my tape measure. So I slanted it this way, and then I measured out 3.5 inches. So if you are of a bigger size, if your arms are bigger, you can use like 4 inches. So I measured 3.5 inches here, and here I raised it up by 2 inches, and then you measure your 3.5 inches that we have here, you measure it back here, and this is where we are right now. So now what I have to do is just draw in my neckline, and then my neckline is a V-shaped neckline, so I'm going to decide how low I want the neckline to be. So for me, I don't want it too low, so I'm just going to from my armhole level here, I'll mark a point, let's say 3/4 inches from my armhole point. So because I don't want to really I don't want it too low, so you can have it too low if you want. You can decide to go lower or whatever. So now I'm going to connect from this point down to this point, and this is it right here. So just because I have a kind of sharp point here, I'm just going to blend it. So I've already blended this point, and that is that for your off shoulder. So you can trace this out or cut it out, and then you also do the same for the back. So this is my full pattern for the cut together off shoulder. So now I'm just going to contour also around my under bust, just in case when I'm done sewing and I want to wear this blouse and I don't want to wear a bra, and then all I have to do now is to, from my armhole level here, I'm going to go down by 10 cm, and then from each dart leg, I hope you can see what I'm doing, but this is it. So from each dart leg here, you extend by 1 cm or ½ inch, and then from this other leg I also extend by 1 cm. Then I'm going to connect this with a curved line. Firstly, I'm just going to draw a straight line this way. So I'm going to draw a curved line from here, and draw a curved line from here to my bust point. Then I'm going to extend from here back to my waist, and from here back to my waist, and that's basically it. So this is my completed front pattern. So I'm just going to do exactly the same thing except this under bust contouring, because there's no under bust at your back obviously. So I'm going to be using my regular dart. So all I have to do is just now trace everything out here, and that will be all for the front. And then I'll do the same shape of off shoulder here. I'll do the same also for the back. So I'm just going to show you how to do the back right now. And this is what my back will look like. So to avoid I already traced in the same thing I did for the front. I traced it in here. So now for the back neckline, I want it like a very, very low. So I'm just going to draw a V neckline to that effect right now. And this is what my back neckline would look like. So I'm just also going to blend it here to remove the sharp points I have here. So yeah, this completes it. This is my full blouse. Now all I have to do is add a 1/4 inch here to my neckline. So all of these parts will be known as my neckline, and then I'll add a ½ inch here to join the back shoulder to the front shoulder, ½ inch here also right here, 1 inch at the side. So yeah, that completes it. So at the zip line here, to avoid gaping, to avoid your zipper bunching up at the zip line, so that everything lies flat at the waist level here, you go in, from here you go in by 1.5 cm. So this is my 1.5 cm here. Then I'm going to connect somewhere up here, and then I'll connect this straight up down to my hemline, or as the case may be, if your bodice is longer than this, if your pattern is longer than this, then you connect from here straight to your upper hip level. So wherever your lower dart stops, that's where you'll be connecting this to, and then you connect this somewhere around there, maybe across your back level or something. So yeah, and that's that for the back. Now all I have to do is just cut it out, and then cut out on my fabric, and then we can move right ahead to sewing. Now to sew the blouse, these are my two back pieces with the lining, and this is my front piece also with the lining. And also the length of the lining and the blouse are not the same, so I reduced the length of the lining by 1 inch so that I can have a clean finish at the hem. Now step 1 is to sew in my darts, just like I'm going to do now. Then I'm going to iron flat towards the center and do the same also for the lining piece. Now the next bit will be to place your lining and fabric right sides together and sew the V-shaped neckline. And then once I'm done, I'm going to notch it all the way around and top stitch just like I'm doing right now. Then you iron the neckline flat and place it again right sides together and sew the hem of your blouse just like I'm doing now. So you make sure the lining and the fabric touch each other, they both align with each other at the hem. And once you're done, you're going to iron flat and then you have a clean finish at the hem just like this. And this is my completed back piece. So now let's move ahead to attaching the shoulders, the front shoulder to the back shoulder. Now to do that, I'm going to place, oh, this is not out of frame. So now to do that, I'm going to place this is my front shoulder piece, right sides together with my back shoulder piece. Then I'm going to place the two together this way. So while holding it like this, at this point here, I'm going to hold it here and then pick the two, these two in the middle, these two here. Hope you can see what I'm saying. So you pick these two and then you hold it at the middle right here, and then you bring the lining out to meet this. So it's going to look like this. So you can decide to pin the center down so it doesn't move, and then you begin to sew ½ inch this way and then ½ inch this way. So the front lining will be together with the back lining, and then the front fabric, fashion fabric, will be together with the back fashion fabric. So I hope you got the trick. So I'm going to sew this now and also do the same for the other side. So once I'm done, then we can move on to the armhole. And then once you are done sewing, you open it up at the same line and then you iron it flat. Now for the armhole, this is how we run it. This is we are now done with our shoulders. So now what you do is to pick up. So what you do is to pick up this is our front, this is our back. So at the shoulder line here, I'm going to align the two of them, both my front and back shoulder. I'll align them this way. Let's see what I'm doing. So you can see this. I'm aligning them this way. So at the center, that is at the shoulder line here. Then I'm going to bring this lining that is on top here, this lining on top here. I'm going to turn it and put it like underneath all of this. So I'm going to hold this at the center this way, and then I'll push this to the back. You have to make sure both shoulders are still aligned right here. So I'll push it back, and that's that. So now what am I going to do? I'm going to, while still holding this middle part this way, I'm going to lift this fabric that is on top. I'll lift it this way, and then I'll pick this one and this one. That is one fabric, one lining here. After putting this one down, so I'll pick these two that are inside and then I'll push it inside. Then I'll make sure this one that I dropped, this one, and the last lining, this one here. So you'd have already pushed this inside. So I make sure this one and this one, they touch each other. So this and the last lining here, they touch each other right here at the shoulders, then you can now pin it down. And that's that. So now to sew it, all you have to do is to keep the two that we pushed inside, you keep pushing it in. This two, you push it in, and then you sew this way. So you sew this lining and this one together, 1/2 inch. So you sew it 1/2 inch all the way till you get to this part here, and then you do the same also for this part, 1/2 inch all the way till you get to this part here. So remember to push these two inside, the two we pushed inside earlier. Remember to keep pushing it inside all the way. So yeah, I hope you understand. So I'll sew 1/2 inch this way and 1/2 inch this way. So once I'm done, all I have to do is just pull this one that we pushed inside. I'll pull it out of that, and then we'll have a finished look. So once you are done with that, you do the same also for the other side. So now I'm just going to sew this right now so you can see. And that's it. So I'm just going to iron this flat, and that will be all. And this here is a completed blouse. You can see I already have the side sewn. So once you are done doing what we did with the armhole, all you have to do is just join the sides like I've done. So you join the sides and iron flat. So now for the ruffles, you just get you measure around your neckline. So you measure around your neckline from the back all the way to the front. So whatever you have round, after measuring is round, you can multiply it by 3 so to get that volume. So once you multiply it by 3, you cut a strip of fabric that represents that. So I have this right here. So I have this right here. So everything here is the width of my fabric. So I'll be gathering it. So you can see that I already have this sewn at the hem. I already have this sewn at the hem and also at the side. This is it here, and also at the other side. So yeah, the length I have here is like I think 20 inches. So it's really long. Okay, so I have 18 inches from here to here, and then the width will be what you measure from your neckline multiplied by 3. So I hope you understand. So now you finish the side, the hem, and the other side just like I've done, and then you can then sew on your gather stitch at the top hemline. At the top, I said hemline. You can then sew your gather stitch at the top here, and then I will gather it up into my ruffle. So once I'm done gathering it into a ruffle, then I'll begin to place on my blouse. So I'm going to start from the back neckline right here. So you measure inwards from here. You measure inwards, that is your zip, because I've not yet attached my zipper to the back here. So I'll just measure 1 inch for my zip line. So from there, that is where I'll begin to attach my ruffles at the tip. Right here, all the way till I get here, and then I also begin to sew it this way. So I hope you understand. So you place it right sides together. So let's assume I've ruffled this up. So you place this way. You place it this way. This is the part we'll be gathering. So you place it here, and then you begin to sew all the way round your neckline. So it's not when you're sewing, it's not going to come here, round your neckline. So all the way till you get it round. So by the time you are done sewing, this falls this way. So I hope you got it. So you can sew along with me. I'll be showing you how to sew it as I'm sewing it on my sewing machine. And really, that completes it. So you then fix your zipper at the back, and that will be all. You can also fix your zipper before attaching your ruffle, whichever one is convenient for you. So yeah, so instead of having one long piece like I showed you earlier, I decided to cut it into two because I realized that my fabric wasn't long enough when I was gathering it. So instead of having 18 inches and 18 inches long fabric here, I decided to cut it into two. So all I have here is 9 inches, and then so I have two. So I'm going to be attaching it to my blouse from the midpoint, that is from my neckline, from the neckline of my blouse separately. So since this is my neckline, this will go here and this will come this way. I'm going to be attaching both of them separately. To this will come stop here at the midpoint of my V neckline and go all the way around to the back, and this one also will come from the midpoint of my V neckline and also go all the way around at the other side. So yeah, so to attach this, we place it this way, right sides together. And this, guys, is my completed cut together off-shoulder blouse with ruffles. Please tap the subscribe button, tap the like button if you found this tutorial helpful, and turn on the notifications bell so you don't miss any of my upcoming tutorials when I post them. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.